I'm Joshua Potts, Mr. Possible. You're watching Running Report, where you get running news produced for and by the culture. And we today are looking at the internet the day after ATHLOS. So Lexus Ohanian put on this amazing event in New York City, headlined by Megan Thee Stallion afterwards, a concert full-on thing. But this whole thing revolutionized, potentially could be revolutionizing track and field. I want to share some of my thoughts. I want to see how the internet's really reacting of possibly a day in history. Let's scroll through here. A lot of great stuff from ATHLOS. Check this out. We got Gabby Thomas, someone who was very integral into the whole entire thing, saying every meet needs to be like ATHLOS in the discussion. This is person asking what's like the energy and the liveliness of it, the music, the intros, our personality showed in the culture. I think that was super important of why this was so successful. Seeing the celebrities track side was awesome. Actually, wait, let's go to this.
Like if you woke up from a dream, you was like, yo, I just had a dream about a track meet. It was crazy. It was at night. It was in New York. The Reddit guy put it on the meet.
Alexis Ohanian.
Shout out to Alexis Ohanian. They passed out Tiffany crowns. They didn't even have medals, bro. They passed out Tiffany crowns and Meg Thee Stallion perform at the end. I have to say, bro, this was amazing, dog.
They put on a great show for the crowd, man. I like how they had the VIP right along
Track side.
so people could really see how fast these women are. So the crowd went wild when they ran the race.
It was an experience. DJ Nice had the music keep spinning. They did an amazing job. A+ for me, bro. A+.
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 Like, even just to see the stars, you see this great picture with all these track legends surrounded around a movie star. We got Wallace Spearman, we got Justin Gatlin, we got Eric Kenyard, we have Fred Curley and Gail Devers surrounded around the GOAT, Lupita Nyong'o. Like, that's, you don't see that at every single track meet, and to have people like this showing up to watch track is amazing. I seen other stars from Sean Evans was there, Flavor Flav was in the building as well. So like it was that, I think that's the special part, that culture about ATHLOS, just like the elegance around it. And this is a good point right here from Daryl Hill. I think a lot of people were wondering, would have been dope if ATHLOS had some field events. We're empowering women, let's empower women. It's a fair point. Even in Grand Slam track, field events are getting the short end of stick like often they usually do. I think there's going to be a time and place for field events to be. It's just not right at this moment, but I feel like we're going to work that in eventually, especially like the women's shot put. People love the women's shot put. You know what I mean? And I think the women's pole vault, people love the women's pole vault. There's stars, the women's long jump and triple jump. There's real like American stars and international stars in these events that can really thrive, from the pole vault, high jump, long jump, triple jump, and shot put. So I don't, definitely it could come at some point. Aaron Strout had a great tweet that I seen. She said, what happens when you invest real dollars in sport and hold a meet in an accessible place, New York City? It's entertaining. It's fun. It has amazing competition. People want to watch that. If the goal of ATHLOS was to raise the bar for track and field, mission accomplished. Hope it isn't one and done. Alexis actually responded to this, saying that we have no choice but to do ATHLOS New York every year and make it a future in New York sports. Y'all showed up. Thank you, New York. That's big for him to say. Trying to do ATHLOS every single year. Milrose, y'all got a rival. Low key, y'all got a rival. Make it global. So we're hearing so many good things about ATHLOS. I want to go to the YouTube real quick because this is one of my favorite things. This is the moment I knew ATHLOS was about to be fired. When I recognized this voice, and then Carrie Champion came on the screen, and we have this like basically this sport desk setup, and we're going back in between. We have this sport desk setup, and we're throwing it to Sonya and Paul in the booth. This is something we've never seen before in track and field. ATHLOS is really revolutionizing this in a way where we're having all these different broadcasters telling this story. Let's think about it. Track and field, there's so many different events. There's so many different disciplines. All of them are coached the same. You can't have one person do all of that. You need several different faces. It's just a fact of life. You need several different people with different types of expertise to tell this story. And the fact they're able to realize that and to fund in to legendary broadcasters like Carrie Champion that brought a real professionalism to the sport, I thought was simply just amazing and a great pick to make. All right, but some negative. And one of the things I didn't exactly love about ATHLOS is that it didn't really mean anything. And this is what I mean right here. Listen to what Masai says.
So you mentioned that you might have a protest. Is that right? And like, what was
I don't know. My agent, he went to go talk to the media director, but yeah, I want to protest because, I mean, as anyone can see, there was a lot of flinching going on at the starting line, so that kind of affected me. And I was playing catch up the whole entire race, so you know, it's a big prize money on the line, and I think that the person who ran the legal race should get the prize money that they deserve.
I think that's fair. Like, if you could see from the race, there's a hell of a lot of. I was like, wait, how are they not? Are we not gonna call? Look, we can look at the race. We can look at the race. It's right here on Twitter. They got it up here too. That's a whole lot of flinching, bruh. That's a whole lot of flinching. JCQ, that's a whole lot of flinching. It's clear to see. We can put this in slow-mo for a second, bro. You feel me? That's a flinch. That's a flinch I ever seen thing. And Masai Russell finished second in that place. There's a whole lot of money in the line. But I think that's what I kind of felt like. I'm all like, maybe, you know, sometimes, you feel me, I'm not going to put it all on the red coats, you know, the officials, all that. But sometimes we just miss things. Sometimes we just miss things. But just throughout the entire event, I just felt like, dang, like some of these things don't matter as much as they should, you know? And that's one of the biggest problems with that is that this is so late in the season. Like Diamond League finals has happened, Olympics has happened. It's super, super late. So just it feels like an exhibition. Nia Akins was saying, yeah, it felt like an exhibition when she ran the 800 meter, but like it's fun. It's showcasing the women athletes. But there's a little less sting of it when everything has happened already. We already know how the season's played out. So having this somewhere in the middle and having the importance of getting that 25K Tiffany crown and that person that get that crown wins Olympic gold is so much more important. And that's why I think we love the Millrose Games and seeing the person that wins the Wanamaker Mile or performs super well there, that person usually goes on and wins Olympic gold. So I think there's potential for that with ATHLOS, but it can't be at this far at the end of the season. This has to mean something. Let's see what the comments saying. She is spot on, but this isn't about fairness. It's about eyes on the sport, so they're never calling that back. It's a shame, though. If you're going to do it, you should do it right. That's exactly, come on. That's exactly what we on. That's exactly what we on right there. She is spot on. Masai is spot on, but that is what it is. It's about showcasing the sport, and you got to do both, though. You got to do both. You got to, because I'm all like, that's blatant. This is blatant. You know what I mean? Jasmine Camacho-Quinn, that was blatant. Oh, another thing that was amazing. Thank you, both throws. Another thing that was amazing about the broadcast, the gambling. The gambling was amazing. And I think he makes a great point. Even if you don't like gamble, like I don't gamble, ATHLOS showing the event odds immediately educates the viewer on who to look for. Pretty important with new viewers who aren't familiar with the sport. I think that was fantastic. And we got to talk about the MVP. The MVP of ATHLOS right here.
Give me my money! Yeah! Give me my money! Yeah!
I believe it was $85,000 that Brittany Brown racked in after her win in the 200 meters and her second place finish in the 100. An amazing, amazing season for Brittany Brown. Nobody has as like amazing second half to her season after finishing second at the U.S. Olympic trials, then third at the Olympics, and then now this at ATHLOS, winning the Diamond League championship in the 200 meter as well. Like, such an incredible season, and really a bounce back for after a bad 2021. I believe was that season where she just wasn't running all the way that she could, and then now moving the coaching with Boogie Johnson and all that group, like, she's taken off and doesn't seem like she's going to be looking back anytime soon, especially with this 100 200 double. So Brittany Brown killed that. One more time.
Give me my money.
There we go. All right, so before we get out of here, I'm gonna go to Let's Run. I know y'all don't like Let's Run, but Let's Run, I got some funny stuff. They got some insightful stuff. These the runner nerds. The runner nerds, people obsessed with the sport that have been watching the sport forever and watched every single type of it, every single type of stream. This dude on Let's Run said American Gladiator vibes at times, but that isn't a bad thing, but would be much better with some Vild events to cut to. American Gladiator, I can understand where he's coming from with that sentence. I think that's very much referring to like Carrie Champion when she was talking there, and Laura Overton when they were talking on that stage. A little bit like American Ninja Warrior when you got I can't think of those dudes' names right now, but when you got those dudes up there in the stands and then you're going back and forth, the sideline reporter. But I like that. I personally like that. In NBC Sports, you never, like ever, in runner space at times and flow trek at times, I know that's a lower budget, but you never get to see the broadcaster's face. And I think being able to see that personality and growing that connection is so good just for hearing the storylines that they're really telling. So, field events, I think, would be great to cut to, and definitely just a portion when we get like the end of the field events with the women's shot put. I think that would be amazing. A women's shot put, I think, would have been amazing to cut to, and a women's pole vault. Honestly, they all would have been great to cut to. He has a great point, or she, they. I don't know. We see. This person said, "I'm liking this. Less events and more of a show will bring more people to the sport. People like stories, characters, etc. As MJ said, people don't care about times and stats." Someone had responded to this saying that if this is where the sport is going, then I wish it luck. I'm not the target audience, so they won't miss me. But it says something about it. If we have to now come up with entertainment and forced excitement rather than just appreciating what goes on the track. At some point, the jokes about a concert going on at a track meet breaking out will be reality. This is not growing the sport. It's creating a new reality show. Wow. Got some strong opinions right here. At some point, the jokes about a concert going on and a track meet breaking out will be a reality. Concerts at track meets aren't a new phenomenon. Let's get that straight right here. I went to a track meet when I was about 7 years old, and at the Home Depot Center here in LA, in Carson, and Bow Wow performed. Little Bow Wow performed at this concert. So concerts at track meets aren't a revolutionary thing. We had Little Bow Wow performing at this concert. It was I have it right here. It's right here. I have a poster of it with Jeremy Warner, the track classic at Adidas 2007. I was there. I got the race at that track meet and got to watch. And low-key, I was already a track fan at that point, but like that made me track fan for life. I got to watch Allison Felix, Jeremy Warner run that day, and I got to watch Little Bow Wow, and people were going crazy on the field. That was dope. Like, this has been going on for a long time. So concerts and track meets, like, let's get that straight right now. That's something that's here to stay, and it's cool. And the characters and the stories and the extra excitement, like, that's not changing the sport drastically. That's just adjusting the sport to where all other sports are at this moment. Let me tell you guys to this real quick, because this man got me pissed real quick. You don't got me pissed. Were the packages before... One of the best things about ATHLOS were the packages before the meets. I've always said, like, NBC, no shout out NBC, but I'm just saying, I don't know what the budget is and everything, what you guys got to do, the planning and all that. NBC, you know who does great packages before races, before games and everything? Maria Taylor does great packages for for Sunday Night Football. I remember she did the one on Jalen Hurts. So many great packages before these games. That's something that's common in NBC and ESPN before NBA games, or when TNT, we got so many people do. Ramona Shelburne would do that for ABC, and then Taylor Rooks would do that for TNT before big games. Same thing right here. Masai Russell, right before the race, she's Olympic champion. She's the favorite. Let's have a throw to a video package. Let's learn more about Masai. We need more of this.
Before coming to college, I had only run the 100 hurdles 4 times before.
Like, this is fire. Like, you can't tell me this ain't cool. And that's nothing that's far removed from the sport or anything or super revolutionary. That's just adding things from other sports into our sport. So I don't know what you're talking about. Lastly, I want to go here on Citius Mag. I think Aisha Protlier, she said something really insightful just about women's track and field in general here on Citius Mag on YouTube.
There was a really big paradigm shift with social media, truly. Because when I started the sport, men were making all the money. If you were a woman in sport, you're just kind of like an also-ran. And this has totally changed. Now the females are the stars. And what's super special about this meet, I got to talk to my training partner, Corey Mickey, and she was giving me the whole lowdown. When you're a track athlete, this is your life. We don't have really an off season. You're training all the time. You put in so much effort, so much time. You're not paid very well. And you go to a meet and it's like they're doing you a favor. It's like, oh, you should be lucky to come here and compete, find your way from the airport, figure it out. No. At ATHLOS, these women are taken care of like everybody is a gold medalist. There's car service from the airport. They're getting to a beautiful hotel.
And she's not just talking about women athletes, I believe there. I think some people may be confused in the comments. Obviously, these ones are very supportive in the top here. But I think she's not just talking about women athletes. She's talking about all track and field athletes that, like, they'll go to meets at times and they'll feel like track and field meet directors will feel like you should be happy to be here. And like, but ATHLOS was really treating them as the premier, best of the best, world champion athletes that they are, like they deserve. And to especially see that in the US, I think is great, because I think there's definitely been, I've heard there's been like meets where, especially in the US, where they don't get that and they would rather go to Europe for this. That's why Jasmine Camacho-Quinn even made that point. Like, in Europe, this will go crazy because the fans would love us in Europe. I'll be getting stopped everywhere. It's not like that in the US. You know what I mean? You know where I'm getting from that? So like, to be treated like this at ATHLOS is dope. Yeah, so overall, ATHLOS was cool. I liked it. Mine, general. So overall, you guys, ATHLOS was cool. I enjoyed it. ATHLOS was cool. I enjoyed it. My only criticism is we need this earlier in the season. I can't have it at the end of the season. Even watching Diamond League this year, I was kind of like, why am I watching this? Like, why is this still going? Why does this matter? Everything in track and field leads up to the World Championships. But I will say ATHLOS is making this mean something. Kyle Merber probably had one of the best takes in recent track and field media history, I believe like a year ago or 2 years ago, saying we need more meets in track and field that we care about, like Milrose Games, the Wanamaker Mile. People care about winning that race. It should be the same thing with ATHLOS. I think it will be the same thing with ATHLOS, especially if we move it to more of the middle of the season, leading up to U.S. championships or in between U.S. and Worlds, having this great competition, showcasing some of the best women in the world ahead of the World Championships will be an amazing way to keep people entertained and lead them to the World Championships. That's where we're going. Like right now, I don't know where we're going, having this at the end of the season, but having this in the middle of the season, getting that 25K Tiffany crown would mean so much more if it leads to a World Championship in 2 months or in 3 weeks or whenever that is. So that's my only criticism of it. But like they're probably gonna help that this year with planning and everything. But just move this in the middle of the season. It would be perfect. It would be dope. Every race would matter. You wouldn't just have like these exhibition races, and like you would keep me a bit more entertained. But I love the production, everything about it. Maybe one thing I didn't like the announcements like inside of stadium, but I actually wasn't there. Like hearing that of just like hearing the commentary and the analysts like that. I think I would have rather had like a PA announcer in there just calling the races as it is. But overall, it was dope. Excited for what they do next. Interested to see if we do it in another part of the country or they do it in Europe or how they will try and change things up. And I think ultimately, like the balls in Grand Slams, GST, the ball's in your court. Like, what are y'all gonna do next? You feel me? Like, what is GST gonna do? That's the new league coming out. That will be coming out soon with Michael Johnson, and I'm sure they're gonna announce their dates yet of where they're gonna go next and everything. But the ball's in your court. How's your production gonna look? Is it gonna be on YouTube? Will it be streamed on X? Because ATHLOS, at one point they had over like 75,000 viewers on X. They had over 5,000 viewers on YouTube. I don't know how they were doing on the Zone and all that. So like people were tuned in. Grand Slam, what you got?